No, you don't want to hear me speak any longer. I want to bring her out. Miss Kim Lyons, if you're out there, come out and say hello.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction. First of all, let me just say that I'm so excited to jump on this webinar with everybody tonight. Doing webinars is one of my favorite ways to reach a ton of people and just get out there and connect with you guys, let you ask as many questions as you want, and hopefully we can tackle them all. So with that said, let's get started with the presentation. And you can type in questions. We'll be answering those at the end. So at any time you want, just type in those questions over there on the right. So tonight's topic is going to be about getting started on your health journey. Thought that was a great place to start since it's our first Automatic Body community call. So what you're going to learn tonight is how to get in the right mindset to get started. Next, we're going to talk about some simple tools to succeed, and I am 100% all about really keeping things simple. So everything we do here tonight is going to be something that you can absolutely achieve. Next, we're going to talk about 3 critical steps to help you succeed. And last, we're going to talk about 3 common obstacles that I'm going to help you overcome. So let's start with the right mindset. First and foremost, I want you to get excited about change. So many people out there hear the word change and they think, oh my gosh, I have to get out of my comfort zone, I'm not going to do it, blah, blah, I can't, and they freak out. Get excited about getting uncomfortable. If you learn how to get comfortable being uncomfortable, then you will change. Okay, so kind of take a minute to absorb that. Learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's when you're going to grow. That's when you're going to achieve things that you haven't achieved ever before. If you stay in that comfort zone where you've always been, then you're never going to achieve bigger and better things. So don't be afraid of change. Embrace it and get excited. Next, I want you to embrace challenges. And I always find it ironic in the days of all these video games that are out there and all the different levels, and I'm not particularly a video game player myself, but I do know a little bit about all the different levels and everything that goes on in video games, and people love it. They love to get their butt kicked on one level and then they go back for more to reach that next level. And that's what I'm talking about here. I want you to find a challenge and then get excited to come back and kick its butt, okay? So when you run into something that you think is kicking your butt a little bit, get aggressive. Get mad, get pissed, do what you need to do to go out there and defeat it, okay? Next, I want you to believe in the results. Now, one of my favorite examples with this is truly The Biggest Loser TV show. Now, one of the reasons I feel like my clients were so successful on The Biggest Loser is because they knew it worked. They'd seen it work on TV before, and they couldn't argue with that. They would come to me and say, you know, oh, I'm tired, I can't do this workout. And I'm like, you know it's going to work in the end. You see the results on the scale. You've seen it in past seasons. So if you don't believe in those results, then you're never truly going to give it your 100%. So I want you to know that everything that you're doing with the Automatic Body program and everything I'm telling you about here, this is 16 years of experience speaking. I know what I'm doing, and I know how to help you guys get results. So believe in the results and go 100% of your effort, because I promise you that you will not fail if you put in all your effort. Next, I want you to be realistic with your goals, but aim high. And what I mean with being realistic is embrace your own body type. If you have an athletic body, go with it. If you have big, strong quads, yes, I'm speaking to you women out there who are going, oh, I hate my big quads. If you have a lot of strength in your legs, go with it. Work it. Strong is beautiful. If you are skinny and you don't have a lot of curves, that's okay too. Embrace that look. You have to work within your own body type. And I really have to kind of focus on this because I'm not going to lie. I spent my entire college career trying to be a 6-foot-tall supermodel with a skinny frame. I hated my curves. I was frustrated with them, and I was constantly fighting my own genetics. And it wasn't until I kind of got into the training world and started to realize, you know what? Curves are cool. I can work with this. And I kind of changed what I was working towards. And that goes vice versa. It always seems like we always want what we don't have. And I know so many of my long, skinny girlfriends are like, God, I wish I had hips. And I'm like, really? I wish I didn't. So you kind of have to learn to embrace what you have and work within it. So aim high, do the best that you can, set your standards as high as you possibly can, but be realistic. And last, this is something that I work on with all of my clients because I believe in it so incredibly strongly, and that is visualizing success. Visualization is so powerful in your unconscious mind. You truly can train your brain without really trying if you just spend 2 times a day visualizing. And what I like to tell people is spend 5 minutes in the morning before you get out of bed. Instead of laying there in bed dreading your day, instead change your frame of mind and think about all the great things that you're going to do during the day. Literally play your day out in your head perfectly. Picture yourself getting up and getting in a 15 to 20-minute workout. Picture yourself eating a healthy breakfast. Picture everything at work going well. Picture your meetings going successful. Whatever it is that you do during your day, picture that in the best case scenario, and then try and play it out through the day. When you go to bed at night, do the same thing. Visualize your body changing. Excuse me, I have a little cold, so I hope I don't cough through this whole thing. But visualize everything that you want to change in your life and where you want to go, and do it every morning and every single night. And this is something I've been doing for years and years and years, even going back to my competition days when I was a fitness competitor. The last 2 weeks before the competition, I quit practicing physically and practiced only mentally through visualization. And it gave my body the break that it needed going into the competition, but made me in a mental state where I was strong and ready to go into that competition. So I really, really highly recommend starting to practice visualization if you don't already. So next topic, I want to talk about some really simple tools that will help you succeed. Now again, these are all really, really simple things that are readily available for everyone. I could go out and tell you, thousands of dollar things that will help you succeed, but that's not the point. The point is to keep things simple so that you do them. Sorry, I had to grab some water there. Okay, so first thing is a journal or a notebook. Now you can absolutely keep track of things on your computer or on your notepad on your iPhone or whatever, but I'm a really big fan of sometimes putting down the technology, getting rid of the apps, and just going out and buying a really simple journal or notebook. Go to the bookstore, find something that inspires you, and just purchase it. That simple. I mean, it can even be as simple as taking a bunch of pieces of notebook paper and staple them together. I don't really care. But the bottom line is you have to have some sort of a journal and some sort of a notebook. It's almost like a symbol of starting. You're going, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the date on the top of this page, and I'm going to start today. And that way you can go back and you can look at your notes. You can look at things recipes that you liked, things that made you feel good, even the bad days, that you write down why something didn't work right. It's just a great tool and a great reference. Buy some stickers, buy some fun pens, whatever it takes, whatever speaks to you. This is your journey. So buy something very simple that you can use to write down and keep notes of your progress. Next, this one's kind of a no-brainer, an inspirational photo or a quote. And this is something that you can put in the front of your journal. You can even put it on a sticky and put it on your mirror where you look at it every day. But again, find something that is meaningful to you. And this will be different for everyone. I personally like to have a photo of when I was in the best shape of my life to remind myself that I can do it. It was hard work. I can do it again. I have tons of quotes that I absolutely love. I actually keep a notebook of quotes, and I refer back to them all the time. Whenever I have friends that are looking for inspiration, or sometimes I'll throw them out there on Twitter or Facebook, or if I'm having a moment where I need some inspiration, quotes will always do that for you. So keep a little notebook or keep a quote and a photo somewhere handy. Next, fitness magazines. Now, one of my favorite things about fitness magazines, or even a good healthy nutrition magazine, they land in your mailbox. It's like a little bit of inspiration that's going to come to you every month. New ideas, everything right there at your fingertips. So incredibly simple. Sorry. Like I said, I'm going to try not to end up coughing through this. But some of my favorite magazines are fitness, women's fitness. Also, I love Oxygen magazine. That's one of my all-time favorites. Clean eating is a really good one if you're looking for great healthy recipes. That's a great, great one. So again, just jump out there to the bookstore, look at whatever fitness magazines or healthy eating magazines, and get a subscription to one. Really, really simple. Now, this is probably the simplest, but I kid you not, makes all the difference in the world to me. Having a good water bottle, and you guys will laugh, but my favorite water bottle is the Smart Water bottle. And I have this funny little system where I love the sports cap, but it only comes on the small water bottles. And so I buy the big one and the small one. I take the smart cap or the sports top off the small one, put it on the big one, and if I have that with me all the time, I consistently drink water. If I don't have it with me, I just fall off the bandwagon with keeping hydrated. So silly, so simple. But my husband laughs at me because I have to have that flip top, and I think it's because when I drive or whatever, it's like you can open it with one hand and you don't have to unscrew it. Anyway, whatever works for you is my point. But go out there and find a good water bottle that you like. Decorate it with stickers, put your name on it, whatever you need to do. But it's really, really crucial to have a water bottle with you at all times. Another one of my favorites is having a nice little lunchbox or a bag that you take with you. Again, silly little trick, but remember the days when you were in school and you would get a new lunchbox every season, whether it was Captain America, Wonder Woman, Snoopy, whatever it was always fun to take your lunchbox to school. It's the same thing as an adult. Get a good lunch bag that you can pack your food with you to take to work or to take on the road with you when you have a long day, so that you're not tempted to stop and eat unhealthy fast food. Next little thing that you can have with you is music. There is not a simpler way to change your mood than turning on good music. And this is something that I love doing. I take about an hour every week, and I just download and listen to music off of iTunes. It's a really great way to stay inspired, and when you have a new music library to listen to or one of your favorite old school albums, you can totally change your mood, and it's super inspiring to work out to. And last but definitely not least, new sneakers. Guys, invest in a good pair of sneakers. It makes me crazy when I see people exercising in unsupportive shoes. You only get one pair of feet, so go out there, try on some good sneakers. It's great inspiration to have them sitting there by your bed when you wake up in the morning. Wear them, get inspired, go out there, walk, run, jog, do some push-ups in them, whatever you want, but get yourself some good sneakers and get moving in them. Okay, so let's talk now about 3 really crucial steps that I think are critical to your success. The first one, clean out your kitchen. Okay, this is not overrated. I need you guys to do this whether you have to stay up all night long or get up early or whatever it is you need to do, get it done. Get rid of all the tempting foods, the candy, the soda, the juice, crackers, cookies, baked goods, chips, ice cream, fried foods, beer, milk, and white flour products are on the top of my nix-it list. Something I do with every single one of my new clients is I go into their house with a trash bag and I go crazy. So start reading ingredients. Look for things that have sugar in them, corn syrup, hydrogenated oils, different kinds of syrups. When you're doing your grocery shopping and when you're reading through the labels on things in your house, less is better. The more ingredients is basically a way of saying it's more processed. So look for things that have very, very few ingredients. And as I always say, if you can't pronounce it, chances are you don't want to eat it. Now, a lot of the things that are packaged that you get rid of, and if they're still closed up, you can take them to a food shelter, which is a great way to basically, not throw away food and just pass it on to someone else. So take all that stuff over to the food banks and get rid of it. You don't need it in your house. Don't wait till you finish it. We're going to start everything right now. There's no better time to get started. And another thing you want to do is don't just eliminate things, find replacements for them. So if you have healthy or things that you love, find healthy replacements. For example, soda. That's one that everyone fights me on getting rid of. Trust me, you don't want to be putting soda in your body. What you want to do is find something that you like, such as maybe seltzer water, and throw a little bit of citrus in there. Or you can use a tiny bit of fruit juice into the soda. So that way you're still getting the carbonation, but you're getting rid of and replacing it with the healthier option. And if you don't know healthier options, it's as easy as getting on Google and searching it. Google is literally your home base for everything. If you need something, a healthy, crunchy chip replacement, go onto Google, search it, healthy chip replacement. I guarantee you'll get 1,000 options. You can definitely find one that will work for you. So bottom line is that willpower is overrated. If it's in your house, you're going to eat it, and you don't want to be sabotaging your own efforts. So don't be afraid to go in there and just go crazy, clean everything out, and just start fresh. So the second thing that you'll definitely want to do is to plan ahead. And this goes all the way back to the grocery store. Planning ahead is really, really key to your success. I've always said if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail, period. It really is that simple. You have to have a plan to stick to, or else you're just going to be like heading out on the road with no map and not knowing where to go. So something that I really, really encourage people to do is spend 2 hours of prepping food during the week, and it will save you so much time and money and calories. This few hours of prep time is really, really crucial. You'll have everything ready to go in your refrigerator or in your snack pantry, and it'll just save you so much time in the evenings prepping meals, save you time prepping lunch, and it can even save you time in the morning getting ready. So what I usually do is I like to prepare 3 different kinds of carbohydrates. Usually I'll have quinoa or brown rice in my rice cooker. I like to bake sweet potatoes, and then I'll slice and dice some veggies just so they're all ready to go, whether I'm throwing them in a salad or throwing them in a stir fry or throwing them in a sandwich or a wrap. So just have things like that ready to go, and you can change them up every week. But it literally takes me no time at all to get all these ready, and I'll usually do it on Sunday night during while I'm watching TV or something. And then I'll do the same thing with proteins. I'll always prepare at least 3 different kinds of proteins. Hard-boiled eggs is one of my favorites because I like eating them at night before I go to bed, or I'll put them in my salads, or they're just a good snack anytime. I also like to grill some chicken. And then with my salmon, I don't like eating fish after it's been cooked and then sits in the refrigerator, just a weird quirk I have. So what I'll do with my salmon is I just cut it into portion sizes so that it's all ready to throw in the pan or in the oven and be all ready to go. And then with the snacks, what I'll do is I'll buy those little snack size bags, and I put a bunch of nuts in there. I usually use almonds or walnuts. And then another one of my favorite snacks that's kind of grab and go is the low-fat string cheese. Greek yogurt's another really good one. Go for the low-fat. I really like Chobani. They've got some great new products out. They've got a little tiny 100-calorie Chobani that is delicious, and then they have some new flips. But it's a great way to get a good source of protein. And then, of course, having the shakes, the fuel shakes, are perfect for on-the-go snacks. And you just want to make sure that you have snacks with you at all times. If you're anything like me, you'll go out to run one errand and you end up running 5 or 6, and you get hungry somewhere in the middle. So I always make sure that I have snacks in my purse. Kind of a funny random story today. I was actually out doing some furniture shopping with my son, and Gunter called me and he said he was on his way home, and I thought, oh, perfect, swing by. I'd love for you to look at this couch that I'm looking at. And he said, oh, I can't. I'm starving. I have to go straight home. He's like, I'm right next to the furniture store, but I seriously have to go home. I'm so hungry. And I happen to have a fuel shake in my purse. And I was like, oh, well, you got to come because guess what? I have a fuel. Totally true story. It was classic. So he had to come to the furniture store, ended up stealing my fuel shake, and I got the couch. So double win. Yay. Okay, so setting mini goals is a third thing that I really want you to focus on to succeed. A lot of the times I'll ask people what their goals are, and they say, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And I'm always curious. I'm like, oh, how are you doing that? They're like, well, I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to exercise. And first of all, the word try absolutely kills me. You don't try to eat healthier, and you don't try to exercise. You either do or you don't. If you're trying, that tells me that you're not 100% committed. So don't try to do it, do it. And in order to do that, you need to set small goals to reach your larger goal. So set daily goals that put you on track to your weekly goals, and that leads into your monthly goals. So let me give you an example. When people tell me they're trying to eat healthier, I say, okay, let's break that down. What are you trying to do? They're like, well, I'm just trying to eat more fruits and vegetables. Okay, how are you going to do that? We're going to break that down into a daily goal. Okay, first of all, instead of grabbing a candy bar at the vending machine at 4 o'clock at work, grab an apple instead. Very, very simple daily goal that you can do. If you're trying to eat more greens, again, don't try. Tell yourself, every day I'm going to have 3 servings of vegetables. And I'm going to do that by having a side salad instead of French fries for lunch. And then instead of having starchy carbs at night, I'm going to have 2 servings of fruits and vegetables instead. So all that leads into your weekly and your monthly goals. Next, I want you to keep track of things on paper. Again, it goes back to that journal. At the end of the day, when you look at a piece of paper, it really puts everything in check for you. How much are you really exercising? How much are you really eating? Write everything down. And it also is a good reminder, for example, when you go to grab a handful of M&Ms at the jar at work. If you have to write that down, it kind of makes you think twice. Do I really want it? Chances are you don't. So get used to writing everything down on paper. And you don't have to do this for the rest of your life, but you'll want to do it for at least a couple weeks to a month just to get yourself in the right frame of mind. Next, rewards. We all love rewards, and it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be as simple as new iTunes, new workout outfit, a massage, and I like to kind of chunk it up. Like if I, reach my workout goals, meaning that I'm at the gym or I'm working out at home or I go to the stairs or the bleachers or whatever it is I do, maybe I've listened to all my iTunes and I'm sick of them. I'll go buy a couple different songs. That's what, $2 for a couple new songs to add to my list. A new workout outfit, again, it doesn't have to be expensive. It can be something really simple, such as a new pair of shorts or a new pair of socks even, just whatever it is you want. And then, of course, the granddaddy is a good massage. After a good couple weeks of working out, get yourself a massage. You deserve it. So I've always said that what we're trying to achieve here is getting a cycle of achievement, which is going to make you feel accomplished, and that equals success and happiness, which again will feed that cycle again. When you feel like you've achieved something and you feel accomplished, you can't help but feel good. And that honestly is so much better than going to bed every night and laying there and going, well, I guess I'll start tomorrow, or I shouldn't have eaten that, or crap, I didn't get my exercise in today again. It's the worst feeling in the world, and it's so easy to avoid that by simply following all the little tiny things I'm telling you in this presentation. So I want you to go to bed at night being proud of yourself so that we feed that cycle of success and happiness. So now let's go over some of the obstacles, because while it's a lot easier to say it than it is to do it, I definitely want to take some time to observe some of the obstacles that without a doubt you will get stuck in. So sabotagers. We all know them. We all have them in our lives, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to address them. First of all, be proud of the changes that you are making. Don't be ashamed that you are going out there and you're doing something good for yourself. It's so hard to be selfish and just be like, you know what, I'm doing this for myself. And it shouldn't be that hard. You spend so much time taking care of other people. It's time to take care of yourself so that you can do better at taking care of other people. So don't be shy and don't be, when people say, hey, what are you doing? Go, oh, I'm starting this new diet program. Just be like, wow, I'm starting this new program and I feel so good. Do you want to hear more about it? So next, it's really important for you to look at why people aren't supporting you and not let it throw you off course. A lot of people feel uncomfortable with change. They've had failures in their life with past diets or nutrition plans, and they kind of lump everything into one big negative feel. And it's because they feel insecure or they feel scared of change. Excuse me. So I really want you to be sympathetic of why people aren't supporting you, and don't attack them back with negativity. Instead, just be like, oh, it's okay. If you want to learn more about it, I'd love to share with you. I've never felt better, and it would be really fun to do this together. And if they resist, that's okay. You are the only one that's in charge of you. You don't have to save the world. I'd love for you to. I'm still going to try for the rest of my life to keep and save the world and get everybody healthy, but you don't have to do that. I want you to worry about you and not to worry about other people's negativity, because personally it's reflecting what's going on with them and not truly what's going on with you. Next, this is really important. Communication is really, really critical. So communicate. Sit down with your friends and family and let them know why what you're doing is important. If you really sit down and have a heart-to-heart with your friends and family and you tell them, this is something that means a lot to me and I want to make these healthy changes. I've wanted to for a long time. I want to feel good about my body. I want to feel good about how I feel. I want my energy levels to change. And really just let them know why it is that you're doing what you're doing. People can't argue with the honesty of your feelings. And if they do, chances are they're not very good friends. And, you just need to either push back on them a little bit or just continue to stick to your guns and let them know that you're going to do this because it means a lot to you. And find compromises with your family. A good compromise that my husband and I have is, and this is pretty much one of the only examples I can think of, but he loves chips and he loves chocolate. And he is, if you've ever met Gunter, he's 275 pounds of pure muscle. So when he eats half a bag of chips, it doesn't affect him quite like it does when I eat half a bag of chips. And I can, easily. If it's around me, I will eat it. So we have a simple little compromise. He keeps his chips and his candy and things in this little cupboard next to his bed in the bedroom. It's out of sight, it's out of mind for me. If he keeps it in the kitchen, I tend to eat it. So we kind of worked that out. It was a good compromise where I said, fine, you can have it in the house, but I don't want to have to look at it. So that was our compromise. So whatever it is within your family, if you need to have a snack drawer or a snack place or a place for your spouse's favorite little snacks that they're out of sight, out of mind for you, go for it. It's a good way to compromise. I'm getting the cough, so sorry. And last, don't give up. Change your approach with people if it's not working, but more importantly, just stay positive. Whether you're at home or at work, if you get negative feedback from people and you're feeling discouraged, don't feel discouraged at all. Keep inviting them to join you. Say, I'd love for you to join me on a walk, or I'd love for you to come over and try this healthy recipe, or I know this is your favorite meal. I tried to make a healthier version of it. What do you think? And just keep inviting them to join you, but stay positive. It's really, really important. So the best part of this is truly to be the change that you want to see in the world, and the rest will follow. And this is something that really I kind of learned the hard way as a personal trainer. I literally had trained hundreds and hundreds of people, and I moved frequently. And I never really thought twice about all the people that I was training or helping out or inspiring. I just kind of did my own thing, and if somebody was interested, I would help them. And after being on The Biggest Loser, all of a sudden, all these people from my past started emailing me and coming back and telling me how much I had done for them. And a lot of them were unexpected people, like people that kind of followed me in college or just after I graduated. And a lot of them were people that gave me a hard time about, always eating healthy or always having to go to the gym or whatever. They were all kind of people, that I had inspired. So it was really, really cool to see all these people tell me all the different ways that I changed their life just through leading by example. And I can't stress to you enough how many people truly well watch what you're doing, even if you don't know that they are or if they're fighting you on it. So don't be afraid to stick with your guns. Next is eating out. Let's face it, socially, eating out is a big part of our lives, and I don't want anyone to feel like they can't go out to eat or feel like socially they have to isolate themselves when they're changing their nutrition plan. So the most important thing that you can do, and something that I always do, is look up the menu at home before you go out to eat and plan your meal. Almost all restaurants, even fast food chains, have their menus and their calorie counts and things online. So you can go and you can look up the menu and you can spend as much time as you want really planning out what you're going to eat. And a lot of the times when you see how many calories are in things, it kind of ruins it for you anyway. So you know it's not worth it. Find healthy things on the menu and always go prepared and know what you're going to order ahead of time. With that said, I want you guys to always be the one to order first if you can. That way you avoid the temptations when the waitress or waiter asks, would you like fries or a side salad? Then everybody says fries, 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 fries. You're going to tend to say fries. Whereas if you say first that you'll have the side salad instead of the fries, chances are you're going to be setting the trend at the table, and a lot more people will choose the side salad or the fruit or something healthier other than the French fries or whatever unhealthy side comes with the meal. So don't be afraid to be picky. I'm that girl at the restaurant always that's asking for my meal to be grilled. I want my sauces on the side, and I will choose whatever side comes with my meal regardless of what's on the menu. And I truly believe that, first of all, if I'm paying for a meal, I'm going to get what I want, even if it's not presented on the menu exactly how I want it to be. I can find things on the menu and I will piece them together so that I get the meal that is healthy. It's okay to be a little bit picky. Honestly, it's your health, and nothing is more important than that. I've even gone so far as to tell people I have allergies, so they need to not use this, this, and this in my meal. I know it's kind of crazy, but it's a great way to get the attention of the waiter to be like, okay, I can't eat this because I'm allergic to it. Can you make sure it's not on my meal? True confessions, I've done that. So some safe bets are always to go for grilled, baked, steamed, or poached. A lot of times if you see things that are sauteed or, marinated or whatever, it's not like you would do it at home. Restaurants go through an insane amount of butter. Now, I'm not against butter, but I am against a half a cup of it on my meal. So you'll want to make sure that you don't get things that are sauteed or marinated or blah, 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 all the other things, definitely not fried. But so stick with these four, and you know you're going to get a fairly healthy meal. Next, you'll want to get all the sauces, toppings, and dressings on the side. And this will not only help with the fat content of your meal, but it'll also help you lower the sodium, which is very important when eating out. And last, enjoy 2 meals out of 1. A lot of the times, even if the meals are healthy, the portions are so out of control that it jacks the calorie count up so high. So you want to make sure that you eat a normal amount of calories when you go out. So always pack half of it to go or share your meal with somebody. Even if you don't feel like you're totally full at the restaurant, just pack half of it to go and eat it an hour later or 2 hours later. Most of the time when you do this, by the time you get it packed up and get home, you realize that you are contently full and you don't need to eat the other half for at least a couple of hours. So next, I like to tackle cravings because we all have them. It's perfectly normal. And the best thing you can do is know why you're craving things and how to stay ahead of them. So the first thing you want to do and think about is what triggers your cravings. There are so many different things that can trigger a craving, whether it's emotional or it could be just boredom. There's tons and tons of different reasons. So when you start to go for something you're craving, stop and ask yourself out loud, what is it that I'm craving and why? Now this one is one that I have always, it's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to tell you guys, eat before you're hungry. If you wait to eat till you're hungry, I don't know about you, but when I'm hungry, I will eat anything and everything in sight. And I don't think about it because I'm hungry and my body just goes, eat now. Whereas if you eat before you're hungry, you tend to spend a little bit more time thinking about what you're going to eat. You eat slower, and it just makes so much more sense. So don't wait until you're hungry to eat. Think about grazing throughout the day on smaller meals every 3 or 4 hours. I promise you this will never backfire on you. Next, as I talked about a little bit, is understanding your cravings. What's making you crave things, and why are you craving them? So I've broken down a little bit of this. A lot of times, if you're craving something salty, it's because you're dehydrated. It is really, really easy to get dehydrated. Your bodies are made up of 70 to 80% water. And if you're not drinking water throughout the day, you can easily get dehydrated. And your body will not show you the symptoms. Once you're thirsty, that means you're already dehydrated. So in order to stay ahead of the game, you need to make sure that you're drinking water throughout the day. And chances are, if you're craving something salty, it's because your body is in need of water. So instead of grabbing that bag of potato chips, grab a big glass of water and drink that first, wait about a half an hour, and see if that craving goes away. If you're craving sugar or carbs, a lot of the times it's because your blood sugar is low. So sugary carbs are the last thing you want to eat because what happens is your blood sugar spikes way up really quickly and then crashes right back down, which will feed that craving again, telling your body, ooh, I need something sugary, or I need a big bowl of pasta, or I need a piece of white bread. And so you're going to end up on this crazy roller coaster with your blood sugar, and the cravings will never go away. So the key is, instead of grabbing sugar or carbs, instead grab something that's protein. And this is where, again, the fuel shakes are perfect. I promise you, if you're craving sugar and carbs and you have a fuel, that craving will go away. And plus, with the fuel shake, it's awesome because you do get a little bit of a sweet taste that will kind of help you cure that sugar craving. Next, crunchy snacks. I have found with most people that when you're craving something crunchy, it's because you're stressed, you're bored, or you're having some kind of an anxiety. So if that's the case, find something to replace that crunchy snack. If you're stressed, try going for a walk. If you're bored, call a friend. If you're feeling anxious about something, write down steps that is going to help you conquer whatever it is that you're anxious about. So don't give in to reaching for that crunchy snack. And if you do absolutely need something, go for an apple or a handful of almonds or walnuts. Find a healthy replacement and get rid of the processed crunchy snacks. And last but not least is greasy foods. This is something that is habit forming, addicting, and it's usually something that you're grabbing when you're looking for comfort. So what I recommend when you are craving something greasy is, believe it or not, a hot cup of tea will usually do the trick. And I know it does not sounds crazy to think, okay, I want a big greasy hamburger, I'm going to go have a cup of tea, but it will help you break that addiction. It'll still bring comfort to you, and it forms a new habit that's really healthy. Another thing that will also help with that is maybe to have a big salad with olive oil on top. That way your tongue and the satiety is still getting the grease, but it's in a healthy form. So that pretty much wraps it up. As you can see, you guys, it's a lot of content, but all very, very simple things that you can absolutely apply to your everyday life. Small lifestyle changes can add up to huge life-saving results. I promise you, you can do this, and I want you to start now. Don't put it off. I want you to go to bed tonight saying, I'm going to do this, or I already started. And it's the best feeling in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and have Alex jump back in and see if you guys have any questions.
All right, Kim, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I gotcha.
All right, perfect. Well, it is getting close to the top of the hour, so we are going to, try to take about five or six questions here from the field. First question that we're getting a lot here, Kim, is I travel a lot, and it's hard to eat healthy and work out. What would be your suggestions for someone who travels a lot?
Wow, you know what? I travel a ton too, and definitely you need to plan ahead. It goes back to that planning. When I travel, I always bring food with me. I have a little bag of nuts. I always pack apples. I also pack tea with me, especially through the airports. Finding healthy snacks in the airports is an absolute nightmare. It's impossible. So if you do get stuck in the airport without something to eat, try and look for soups and things like that. There's usually soup and salad places. They're incredibly high in sodium, but you can always counterbalance that with drinking a lot of water, and it's much better than some of the other options that you're going to have. But definitely plan ahead. And then when it comes to working out on the road, I always bring a resistance band with me. They're super lightweight. They fit into any suitcase, and you can get a workout in your room that way. You don't even need tennis shoes. And I also try and book hotels with workout facilities in them. Surprisingly, a lot of hotels, most of them nowadays, do have workout facilities. So it's really, really important that you look ahead. Again, look on to where your hotel is. Look and see what facilities are close to the hotel, or even if the hotel has one. And but for the most part, like I said, always plan ahead. And I even pack oatmeal with me every time I go. I have like a little snack bag, which I'll have to shoot that off in another email of all my different little snacks that I take on the road with me.
That's pretty funny there, Kim, because if I actually look at my computer bag right now, I actually have oatmeal in my bag because I'm on the
Yep,
road a lot.
awesome. It's so easy. All you need is hot water, and you're good to go.
Absolutely. I know a lot of people are probably asking this question, and nutrition's pretty expensive in a lot of people's eyes. So, for those who are on a tight budget, what are your suggestions for healthy foods that aren't expensive that they could be buying?
This is a really good question because I actually get this a lot from people, and I get it. Right now, the economy's kind of tanking, and a lot of people don't have the budget to go out and eat expensive organic food. And eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. The key is buying things in bulk. When you go to the grocery store, buy the dried beans or the bulk in quinoa for the brown rice for oatmeal. I actually shop at a grocery store called Sprouts, and I buy everything in bulk. It just makes so much more sense economically. And also buying canned goods. There's a ton of really healthy canned goods that you can get for proteins. Tuna fish is a really good one. You can even get some really lean canned chicken and things like that. So there's a lot of options. Canned vegetables are great. And also buying frozen produce doesn't have to be expensive either. So definitely a ton of options out there for eating healthy without spending a ton of money.
Absolutely. Great answer there, Kim. Now here's another that question that actually really resonates with me. And I am always hungry before I go to bed. Now, what are your thoughts there? Should I eat or should I go to bed hungry?
I love this question. I love the controversial questions. If you're going to bed hungry, chances are you're going to wake up and you're just going to be cravey and ravenous, and you might not even sleep as well. Now, it's important to know that you don't want to eat a ton before you go to bed because your growth hormone actually releases better on an empty stomach than it does if your stomach is full. So you do want to have a light snack, and I recommend having something that is protein based instead of carbohydrate based because that's going to help keep your blood sugar level throughout the night. A lot of times if you eat a big carbohydrate meal before you go to bed, it throws everything off with your blood sugar, and you can even wake up with a horrible headache. So I recommend having things like a couple of hard-boiled eggs or scrambled eggs. A fuel shake, again, is a good protein thing that's going to fill you up. I also like having a few berries as a good a good nighttime snack. So look for things that are low in calories, low in sugar, and more filling. And again, also fill up on liquids. Go for that hot cup of tea or even a couple glasses of water before you go to bed will really help. Maybe you're not even hungry. Maybe it is that you're just thirsty. And it's actually an interesting little fact that I'll throw in there is your body can't differentiate between hunger and thirst. So a lot of times when you think you're hungry, it's your body signaling that you're thirsty. So always grab a couple glasses of water before you go eat a ton of food, and chances are that will do the trick.
No, absolutely. Right before I go to bed now, I actually take a couple cans of fuel. Is usually what I do right now. That pretty much curbs the hunger right there.
Yep, definitely.
Now, a lot of people out there, they have kids. I'm around, my nieces and nephews all the time, and I end up eating their food all the time. Now, do you have ideas for healthy kid snacks?
You know what I do, and this is a topic that I could do an entire webinar on because it's I don't want to say frustrating, but a little bit. It's a topic that when I look at what parents feed their kids, I think to myself, why would you buy that for your kids when you know it's full of crap? I mean, why wouldn't people feed their kids healthy snacks like grapes and berries and just other, fruits gonna kill that category of sweets for your kids. They're not gonna miss sugary processed foods if you're feeding them whole natural foods. Even healthy dry cereals are a great snack, much better than the processed, packages of crap that people are feeding their kids. So bottom line is don't feed your kids something that you wouldn't find healthy for yourself. Don't fall into the gimmicky, cute packaging of kid foods. And I've really, my son is only 2.5 now, but it is fascinating to me how they market things to kids. Even in the canned fruit aisle the other day, I was looking and it said, kid friendly, blah, 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 whatever it was marketed to kids. And I picked up the can and there was more sugar in the kid one than there was in the regular can. And I'm like, why would they market this in syrup for kids, but in water for adults? So you really have to be aware, and anything that's marketed to kids, look extra hard at the packaging and go for things that are healthy. And surprisingly, kids will like things that you don't expect. For example, seaweed. I have these little toasted seaweed snacks that I never in a million years would have thought my son would have liked. And he saw me eating them, and I gave him some, and he loves them. It's now his favorite snack. Chobani also has a really great kid-friendly tube of yogurt where they just tear off the top and they can eat the Greek yogurt right out of the tube with no spoon. It's brilliant. So there's a lot of healthy kid foods out there. Go back to the old school basics like celery and peanut butter and things like that, or almond butter. Tons and tons of healthy options. But whatever you're going to snack on, let your kids snack on the same thing.
Great. Now we have time for about three more questions here, and this one's coming here as well. Is how much protein should a woman be consuming in a day? And is it possible to overdo the protein?
That is a great question. You know what, with protein, I recommend doing 15 to 25 grams per meal. And that can be a little bit less for a snack, and it can be a little bit more for a meal. It's pretty hard to OD on protein. If you really want to get technical on it, you want to have 1.2 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of muscle mass. So a lot of people get that confused because they try and do 1 to 2 grams per pound of body weight. And what happens there is you end up fueling your body or fueling the fat in your body and not the muscle. So you do want to go off of how much muscle mass you have, which I know a lot of people don't know unless you go out there and get it tested. But a good safe rule of thumb is to go with that 15 to 25 grams per meal. And like I said, if you're at a snack and you go for 10 grams, that's okay. But at the end of the day, I want you to have at least 100 grams of protein. And I wouldn't go over, 200. That might be a little bit excessive. You're just going to start going overload on the calories then. But a lot of it, too, depends on how much you're training. If you're a bodybuilder or if you're lifting extreme weights, then you can bump that up to about 2 grams per pound of muscle mass. But for a good, safe ratio, just stick with the grams and go with that to between 15 and 25.
Great answer there, Kim. Now, here's a question I know a lot of husbands are going to want the answer to. But my wife does the cooking, and it's really good. but it's not very healthy. How can I get her to cook healthy without insulting her cooking?
Oh, love it. Yes, that is definitely a question for all the boys out there. You know what? You kind of have to make it fun for your spouse, whether it's the man doing the cooking or the female doing the cooking, whoever's doing the cooking, whatever it is, just say, oh my gosh, this is so good. We should really find a healthier way to make this. Or maybe we should have this once a month and then find other solutions for or healthier options for this. Or if you want to avoid the topic altogether, you can get back on Google, just like I said, and Google something like healthy lasagna recipe and print out the recipe and say, hey, I found this recipe. I'd love to try it. Doesn't it look good? And kind of go through the back door that way with it. You never want to say, oh my gosh, this is so unhealthy. I can't believe you're feeding this to me, or you're making me fat, and don't make it a controversial thing. Just find a nice way to approach it and, and find substitutions. And then get in there and make it even a date night. Say, hey, on Friday or Saturday night, do you want to have a date night with me in the kitchen? Put on some sexy lingerie, whatever, guys, pour the wine. Do whatever it takes to make it fun.
Awesome answer there, Kim. We'll take one more question here, and I know this applies to a lot of people who are on this call right now. There is so much junk food in my office, and I end up snacking all day. Now, how can I get my coworkers to stop bringing these snacks into the office?
Yeah, I do a lot of work with corporations and companies, and you know what? Here's the deal. You are always going to have a ton of people who don't want to change, and that goes back to those sabotagers. They're comfortable. They don't want to change. They're going to be, the guy that picks up the donuts every Friday, and that's never going to change. But there's going to be more people who are just like you who do want to change. And it's as simple as sending out an email or posting a note in the snack room that says, hey, everybody, I'm starting a healthy club. Who wants to join me? And let's pick different days of the week to bring in healthy snacks. I'm going to buy a big bag of apples this week. Who's going to bring what? And have a sign-up sheet. And you'll be surprised how many people jump on the healthy bandwagon. And while there's always going to be snacks in the office that aren't healthy, just make sure that they're not at your desk. Make sure that they're kind of out of sight, out of mind. And if you do walk in and that box of donuts is sitting there open on the table, don't be afraid to close it and put it up on top of the refrigerator. They're still there, but you can always replace that box of donuts with a big basket of apples or fruit. So make it fun and get other people involved, and make sure that you're not alone in your journey. Like I said, get other coworkers involved in your healthy mission. And plus, it keeps you accountable when they know you're trying to stay healthy. If they see you eating that donut, they're going to be like, hey, aren't you part of the healthy club? I brought in apples this week. So it keeps you accountable.
All right, great, Kim. Now, one of the big things for Kim is I always want people to take something away. So they have something to focus on for the next week or 2 weeks or month. If there's one thing you want to leave people with today, what is the one thing you want them to take away?
The number one thing I really want people to take away is simplicity. Just keep it simple and start right away. There are so many different diet plans out there and so many exercise plans out there that it's easy to kind of ping pong between them all and not know where to start, so you just don't start at all. So take all the simple things that I've given you today, apply them to your everyday life, and start right away.
Awesome. Well, Kim, let me be the first to thank you on behalf of the whole community here for coming out. I absolutely cannot wait to talk to you next month and hear the things and the progress that we're having here in the community. Thank you very much again, Kim.
You are welcome, and it was great to connect with everybody tonight, and I look forward to all the feedback from tonight's presentation. And if there's any topics that you want to be that you want me to cover or talk about, I'm always open to your suggestions.
Absolutely. If you have any suggestions for the people out there in the community, feel free to send those suggestions to alex@nutri.com. That's ALEX@nutri.com. We'll make sure to put something together here for the next month. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Do not forget that tomorrow, Thursday night, we have another webinar. It's the Business Opportunity Webinar with Rick Gutman at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can get all the information right there in your back office of Automatic Pro. Folks, I want to thank you again for coming out tonight. I look forward to meeting y'all at our events, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great night, everyone.